Maybe to switch in the gears a bit, my first question would refer to, because Austrian Post usually is connected to, or for many people, they think it's just a mail delivery. But I know that it's much more than that. So what are the core services and the business segments of the company? I think this would be interesting for the audience to hear.
Yeah. So we report and operate in three business segments. Indeed, mail is the traditional business. Mail is our heritage, in some areas also our legacy. It's a shrinking business worldwide. But fortunately, we also have a growing business, which is our parcel and logistics business. This is the second one. In mail, we are only present in Austria, whereas in parcel and logistics, we operate an international network in a region, Austria, CE, Turkey, and also beyond Turkey. And the third segment is what we call retail and bank. This is back to Austria. This is our Austrian retail network consisting of postal branches and postal partners. And there, 5 years ago, we launched a new bank, Bank 99, and that is also part of this segment.
Yeah, I will come back to that a bit today later, because coming from my coverage segment, obviously the Bank 99 would be something to ask you about. But now connecting to what you've just said, and I was myself surprised preparing for the talk with you that you are, as you mentioned, also in CEE, the Turkey and even Azerbaijan. So what made you, or what were the thoughts behind this strategy to go into these markets? And why are they ideal for the strategy of the company, respectively? What challenges do you face the further east you go?
Yeah. So I think the starting point is we are a listed company since 2006. We IPO'd in 2006. And I think already before that, I was not in the company then. I think it was clear only being present in Austria will not be an interesting equity story, will not be a strategy that is an attractive story for all the stakeholders, employees, shareholders. And so the company had already made some footsteps into Eastern Europe, I think similar to Raiffeisen when the Iron Curtain opened up. I think this was a natural opportunity. And so today we are present in 8 Eastern European countries. And 2013, we stepped into Turkey with a 25% shareholding in the largest Turkish parcel operator. In the meantime, we own 80%. And so we now feel very comfortable with this region, Austria, Eastern Europe, Turkey, and Turkey we see as a bridgehead further east. It has gained in geopolitical importance over the last years. There are some interesting, all of them challenging markets around Turkey. Azerbaijan was one market where we made an expansion step last year, and we're currently making cautious first steps into Georgia and Uzbekistan. Yeah, and coming back to your question, why this region? So one region is historical. The other reason is Western European markets in our industry are well covered, well occupied, well divided up among the large international networks. In the markets we are present, we feel there is still a first move opportunity. We have a strong market position in most of these markets. And we increasingly try to operate really as a regional player covering this region.
Which is another similarity, I guess, to us and our coverage.
True. Still, we have, you mentioned the similarities of Raiffeisen and us here. We have gone into markets closer to us. For us, Turkey is I would say, the farthest reach out. Azerbaijan also will look into the banking business. Nevertheless, we always use local expertise to get into those markets. How are you doing it? You mentioned now a few ones that you're newly looking into. Do you have local business partners there, joint ventures, or how is your approach also in running then such an organization? Because culturally, it's a completely different animal when you come, I don't know, Turkey as well as Austria, not a lot of similarities, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, of course. So I think the theme we try to use is locally committed but internationally connected. So I think you're fully right. We rely on local entrepreneurship, local competence of the market, of the customers, being closely knitted into the fabric of the society. The history of most of our regional companies is acquisitions, but not only acquisitions. For example, in Slovenia, we 3 years ago expanded organically, built up a new network. Azerbaijan has also been an organic step. So basically there we have followed customers. Some of the big Turkish e-commerce platforms, they themselves expanded east, and they were looking for a partner to build up their delivery network. And so we're working there with a local partner. And so there are different ways. But I think in the way we operate, we always rely on local entrepreneurship, typically local management, sometimes with some combination of some Austrians that, have a role to share also some of the competencies we have in-house. Of course, there's always some system of checks and balances, but this local element is very important. And I think the further you get from Austria, the more it's important to really have local entrepreneurship.
You mentioned Georgia already. Other areas, further expansion. I mean, is the Austrian Post bound to a continent, or would it be, say, 5 to 10 years? There are other ways you explore. Western Europe, you said, is already conquered. But other than that, what would be on your map somehow?
Yeah, I think currently we don't have any global ambitions, to go to South America, Africa, whatever. I think this region is big enough for us. So we're talking currently already about 150 million inhabitants that we reach. So that's our value proposition to the large e-commerce platforms. We connect you with 150 million consumers with strong, high-quality delivery networks. But of course, there are some white spots still in this geography. So if you talk about Southeastern Europe, for example, we're not present in Romania, we're not present in Greece, in Northern Macedonia. So that is, of course, one area where we always have our eyes open, whether there are opportunities. And then this regional, we already discussed east, or let's say around Turkey. I think that is another region, yeah. And with that, I think given the size we have and given also the war chest we have, I think that's good enough. Yeah.
Raiffeisen Bank International. Make it happen.